Hi, and welcome to this week's Lead with Purpose Friday Digest. So like most of you, I just got done spending some time taking a break in between Christmas and New Year's, and now I'm back at it. And I wanted to share with you my journey of the 12 days of no email. Over the holiday, I tried to go without email and wanted to share with you what I did and what I learned. So, are you ready to go on this journey with me? So it started off on December 23rd, which was day one. And on that day, I really felt accountable. You know, I talked to my team, I set my intentions, and I put my out of office away. And in my out of office, I was very specific. I said, I'm not going to be checking email. If you need to contact me, you need to text me or call me. And so I felt pretty good. I was, sharing with others so that I would not, break my promise. So then day two, I was excited. I got up and I actually deleted apps off my phone. I deleted the mail app, I deleted Teams, I deleted Zoom, I deleted all these apps off my phone, and it felt liberating, frankly. And day two, I would consider to be a success. Day three, I was a little bit confused, and here's why, is because I opened up my phone and my muscle memory kicked in, and I went to click where that app was, and it wasn't there. So I was a little bit confused, but still feeling good. The next day, confident. So I was enjoying my newfound freedom at this point. We had celebrated Christmas, I was engaged, I wasn't worried about anything. So day four, feeling good, nice and confident. Day five, I felt a little bit curious. I started wondering what was going on. What am I missing out on? And, so that thoughts started to trickle into my mind about what I might be missing out on. The next day, I'm sorry to say, I actually was cheating. I did take a peek just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. And you know what? There was not one important email in there. It was mostly out of office responses. It was nothing urgent. So I cheated, but it kind of assuaged my curiosity, and I felt okay. The next day, I was on the clock. And, this was a matter of scheduling, and I actually had some client work to do. So I spent about half a day working, and I was on the clock, and I was engaged in email. Not on my phone, though. I drew this line in my head that if I only did it on my laptop, it wouldn't actually be cheating, but I was on the clock. So on that day, I actually did work. But the next day, day 8, I was back on the wagon, okay? I was not going to be doing any work. I was not checking email. Again, I was re-upped my policy and felt pretty good. So the next day was New Year's Eve. I was bored, frankly. So, I think we all get engaged in the constant hit of dopamine that is the alert. And I was bored a little bit. And so, I was kind of wandering around the house. If you ask my wife, I was looking for stuff to do. And I actually had to find things to keep myself occupied. Then day 10, I hate to say it again, but I had a breakdown. I went full in. It was New Year's Day, and I said, okay, I'm checking my email. I was nearing the end of my time off, and I broke down, and I just went in, and I cleaned up my email. It didn't take all day, but, I was kind of back at it. So that was day 10. And then day 11, I was prepping. When you're on vacation or you take some time off, usually before you come back, unless you want to commit to a mountain of email, you start prepping and start getting ready for the next day. So I loaded the apps back on my phone and I was prepping. And then today, day 12, it's Monday. So here we are. And it is January 3rd when I'm filming this, and I am back in my email. So I learned a couple of things that were valuable. First of all, I think full disconnection for a business owner is really tough. And there are so many things going on. For example, we had payroll that goes out at the beginning of the month. That was something that I had to take care of, and that's okay. but I was able to disconnect enough where, I was able to get a break. I was able to mentally recharge, and, that did me well. So, 12 days may have been a little ambitious, but, I would encourage you always to look for ways to have some downtime. So that's my 12 days of no email. I hope it was helpful for you. Maybe try and take a challenge yourself. Try 1 day. Try 1 hour instead of 12 days. Then you might be a little bit more successful. As always, I want you to look at everything below we have in our Friday Digest. We always look for things that help you become a better and more purposeful leader. Thanks.